Right, guys. All right, so welcome back. I realized last week when I posted the video, a couple of weeks ago, and I posted the video to Vacant Planets of Death, I actually hadn't done a lesson on all the riffs for Secret Face. Now, I did do a cover for that one as well. As you know, I've sort of taken this, I don't know why, this project of doing all the covers of Human, but anyway, why not? And I'm trying to drop a lesson on all the riffs for all the songs as well, so you get to actually play along with them. So what I was going to do today is the video for Secret Face, just go through all the riffs, because we haven't gone through that, and hopefully that should clear out some of those parts in the song. So without much further ado, let's have a look at Secret Face. Let's have a look at all the riffs. Just again, we're in standard D, so everything is tuned down a whole step. Also just the boring stuff. If you could subscribe to my page, I've had a lot of new people joining in, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for all the support, and I'll carry on doing more and more lessons, tutorials and all that, so just really appreciate all the support. Anyways, so without much further ado, let's have a look at Secret Face. All right, so we're gonna first look at the intro, so I'll play it for you slowly, and then we'll break it down and see what's going on. Okay, so this is the sort of the lower guitar part. There are, again, just like in a lot of Dead songs, there are some harmonies. So what we're going to have a look at is how the lower guitar goes, and then we'll play the higher part and then break that down as well. Right, we're going to start on the 3rd fret of D. Just for simplicity, again, I'm going to refer to everything in concert pitch, if that's okay. So we're going to be on the 3rd fret of D, and we're going to basically play an arpeggiated power chord of B flat. So we're going to go from the 3rd fret of D into the 1st fret of A, and then we're going to play the sharp 5 of that onto the 4th fret of D. So, okay. Now from here, we're going to basically play the beginning again. Go 3rd fret of D, 1st fret of A. Then we're going to go to the 4th fret of D again, back to the 1st fret of A, and then we're going to finish on the 2nd fret of D. So creating a bit of a chromatic kind of feel to the whole lick. So. Okay, now for bar number 2, we're going to go back to the 3-1 sort of power chord broken up into the 4th, so 3-1, then 4 of D, and then here we're going to expand the second idea a little bit more. We're going to go 3-1, 4, back to the 1 of A, then to the 2nd fret of D, back to the 1st fret of A, and then we're going to play the 3rd fret of G at that point. Okay, so that's for the lower guitar. Let's have a look at what's happening. Now, just a quick other sort of note. The intro only comes at the start, and that's it. It doesn't get repeated later on in the song. And also, there are some pauses between each of those phrases. So one of the ways you can count, but I always tend to say, you know what, if you can actually sit down and listen to it and just take the riff inside you, it'll serve you a lot better, because you never, unless it's really complicated rhythmic stuff, you most likely are going to try to play with the feel of the rhythm rather than trying to count really, exactly where everything's falling. But anyway, so let's have a look at the harmonies. So the harmonies basically play the 5th up from where we started. So if you started on the 3rd fret of D, the harmonies played on the 5th fret of G to play a 5th up from there. Okay, so we're going to go is, let's play it first and then we'll break it down. Okay, so let's break this down. So it's effectively the exact same thing played up a 5th. So we're starting on the 5th fret of G, going down to the 3rd fret of D, so into the 6th fret of G. Then we repeat that again. 5-3. Then back to the 3rd fret of D, and then we play the flat 5 here on the 4th fret of G. Then from here we're going to repeat the beginning. Okay, and then we're going to expand just like we did in the lower harmony. We're going to go 3, 1, 4 on the G, 1 on the D, 3 on the D, 4 on the G, 3rd on the D, and then we're going to play the 6th fret of B. So going quite high up on that sort of part there. So that's for the intro. Like I said, this part doesn't come back again in the song. So what don't we just move on to the main sort of what I call really the main riff, the verse riff. All right, okay, so we're going to very slowly play the verse riff, and then I'll break it down for you. Okay, right, let's go. Okay. So let's break this this little riff down. All right. So we're gonna be starting sort of carry on a little bit the idea of the intro. We're gonna sort of develop that effectively. It's a sort of the same idea just played with tremolo picking. Right. We're gonna start on the 3rd fret of D. Then we're gonna go down to the 1st fret of A to tremolo pick. Now there's a lot of notes to pick here. So the way I sort of try to think, there's 14 of them. So the way I would sort of think about perhaps sort of breaking it down is do 3 groups of 4 and then a group of 2. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? And then at that part you're gonna go up to the 4th fret of D, which is the sharp 5. And then here you only got 10, a group of 10 tremolo picking on the 1st fret of A. So what I would suggest to do at this part is actually break it down in 2 groups of 4 and a group of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And at that bit here, you're going to basically play the 2nd fret of D and the 3rd fret of D. Now careful here, because actually Chuck is slowing it down. He's basically playing in the middle of a whole bunch of 16th notes. He's actually playing 2 8th notes. Because he's landing on that 3rd fret of D on the beat. So, right? And then we're back to the tremolo picking on the 1st fret of A. And again, it's a 14. So I would go groups of 3 groups of 4 and a group of 2 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And at this point, we're going to play the 4th fret of D again. Okay, so we're repeating that. And then again, we're going to play a group of 10. So 2 groups of 4 and 2 groups of, and a group of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And we're going to tell this part of the riff with the 2nd fret of D into the 3rd fret of G, which is a tritone. And we're going to try, those two, we're going to actually play them as 16th. So we are going to move very quickly between them. One way to get that feel is to play down up stroke on it. Okay? So an alternate pick. Now, we're going to drop this riff down into F sharp, so from the 2nd fret. We're going to play the 4th fret of A. And what we're going to do here, we're going to play the 4th fret of A, and then we're going to tremolo pick on the 2nd fret of E. Same idea. We're going to play a group of 14 to start with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then we're going to play the 5th fret of A to play the sharp 5 of F sharp. Then we're going to go a group of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then we're going to play the 2 slow notes here, the 2 quavers on the 3rd fret of A and the 4th fret of A. And then we're going to go back to the 2nd fret of E, play a group of 14 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Then we're going to go to the 5th fret and then back to the 2nd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So group of 10. And then we're going to tell this riff with the 3rd fret of A and then into the 4th fret of D. So again, I would play these as 16th notes, so just play them as alternate pick. Okay? And that's for what I would call the verse riff. Now, there's no major harmony here to worry about, except that right at the start of the riff, just like in the harmony, you're gonna one of the guitar is beginning on the 5th fret of G. So it's going. Okay, so we're starting on the 5th, so we're getting that sound, that power chord sound of the chord, of the F chord. Okay, so that's for effectively what I would call the main verse riff. Now, what I would do now is perhaps look at the riff that comes after that, which is sort of the breakdown riff. Let me play it to you, and then we'll break it down. Okay, all right. So this is the sort of the breakdown riff. Okay, so we're staying effectively in F sharp again. So we're gonna start on the 2nd fret of E. So it's an F sharp, and we're gonna basically we're gonna sort of create a little gallop here. So we're gonna go down, down, up, down. Okay. Then we're gonna hit the tritone here on the 3rd fret of A. So you get it. Chuck did like his tritones a lot. The 3rd fret of A. Then we're gonna go back to the sort of little gallop on the 2nd fret of E. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to go onto the 3rd fret of A to play a power chord. And then we're going to basically, I tend to slide this into the 2nd fret of A. So basically playing a C to a B. And then go to a power chord on the 3rd fret of E. So we're going. All right. And at this point, we're going to go back to the 2nd fret of E. And then we're going to hit a pinch harmonic. So I tend to hit my pinch harmonic, depending on the guitar I'm using. Either the 3rd fret of A or the 3rd fret of D, yeah? So it depends on which one I'm feeling. Then you tend to get a better harmonic on the 3rd fret of D, really. Then we're gonna stay on the 2nd fret of E, and then what we're gonna do here, we're gonna stay on the F sharp here and play it as a power chord, and basically go down to the 1st fret. All right, and then play that 2nd fret of E again. So an old school like thrash riff, practically. Okay, And that's really for that sort of what I would call the little bridging riff of this song. Not a hard one, but just be careful. I'm pretty sure one of the guitar comes in first and then the second one follows. I don't think there's any noticeable harmony to sort of talk about here. Right, okay guys, so now let's have a look at the next section of the song. So arguably I would say the hardest part of this song to perform. Partly because you're sort of moving in tremolo picking while at the same time moving your left notes on the left hand. So it does require a little bit of coordination between your left and right hand. So let me do this. Let me play you the section very slowly. And then I'll break you down how to actually work on this section, you know, in sort of dividing both left and right hand. So let's just play it to you slowly and then we'll have a look at it. Okay, all right, so let's have a look what we're going to do first. We're going to look at the left hand, what's going on here from a notes point of view. Then we'll have a look at what's going on with the right hand, and then we'll sort of talk about how to actually coordinate the two. So on the left hand, what we're actually doing, we're going 5-4 on the A, then second fret of E, so we're staying in the F sharp sort of mode. Then we go into the fourth fret of A, then again to the second fret of E, then back to the fourth fret of A, then we move down to the third fret of A, then the third fret of A to the first fret of E, then again third fret of A, first fret of E. So that's the first cycle. The second cycle starts the same way again, 5, 4, then 2 on the E, then 4 on the A, 2 on the E. Then from here we go straight up. Instead of playing the fourth fret of A, we go straight up to the fourth fret of D. Then we go 4, 3 on the D. Then we go into the first fret of A, which is a B flat, third fret of D, first fret of A, third fret of D, and then first fret of A. Okay, so that's how the riff is actually moving about. Okay, so if I play you the notes very separately, just one by one, you'll hear how the melody actually works. Okay, all right, now let's have a look at what's going on with the right hand for both cycles. So what we're going to do is this. I'm just going to mute the left hand with my fingers there. I'm just going to mute the strings and just play the right hand. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to go very slowly. We're going to have 4 hits on the A, then 2 on the E. And we're going to move back to the A, back to the E, back to the A, and then we're going to do another 2 hits on the A, move. Okay, then moving back and forth between the 9 twos. Then we're going to stay on the A and we're going to go 4 hits on the A. Then move up to the D. So let me play that exercise very slowly. So we're going. And that's basically what the right hand is doing. So you should try to practice that for a bit. Then you join up the two hands, which will eventually make you sound like this. While keeping the palm mute as well. Okay? Now, spend some time on this section, guys, because this is really the trickiest section of the song to get right. Just getting that left and right hand coordination, if you're not used to it, to play tight riffs like this with sort of that sort of feel of two notes every time played. That kind of stuff takes some time to work on. All right? Okay, after that riff, we're moving on to the sort of melodic riff here. And by the way, no harmonies in that section. So now, the next section, however, does have a harmony. So we're going to play you both riffs, and then we'll break it down. Right, let's go. Okay, so that's for the lower guitar. So let's break that down, and then we'll talk about the higher guitar. So the lower guitar, we start on the 9th fret of A, and we're just moving up from the 9. Oh, everything's in crotchet here, so it's fairly slow and easy to play. We're going from the 9, then 12, 11 on the D, then 12 of A. Then we move up to the 10th fret of E, and we're going 10, 13, 12 on the A, and then 13 of E. Then we move up to the 11th of A, and we go 11, 14, 13 on the D, then 14 on the A, and then we're going up to the 12th of E, and we're going 12, 15 on the E, 14 on the A, and then 15 on the E. So we're literally just going. That's basically the climb up. Right, now regarding the second guitar, so what we're going to do, we're going to play the second guitar, and see what harmony is played on the second guitar first, and then we'll break it down. So this is the harmony guitar that sits under the other the higher guitar. So we're starting on the 7th fret of E, and we're going 7 of E, then 10 9 on the A, and then 10 of E. Then we go down to the 3rd fret of E, and we're going 3 on the E, 6 5 on the A, and then 6 on the E. Then we go up to the 9th fret of E, and we go 9, then 12 11 on the A, and then 12 of E, and then we back down to the 5th of E. Then we go 5th of E, 8 7 on the A, and then finish on the 8th of E. So those are basically the two guitars that form the sort of harmony part. Right, now at this point we sort of entered what I would call the pre-solo section. Now what I would do here, I'm just going to show you the pre-solo section, which is sort of preempting the lead a little bit. So let me sort of play it to you, and then we'll break it down and see what's actually going on in that section. Alright guys, so let's have a look at what's going on in this sort of real melodic part preempting the solo. We're starting on the 9th fret of G, and we're going to play 9th fret of G, then 12th fret of B, and 12th fret of V. So I tend to position my fingers in that way, index barring across the G to the E, and then my pinky barring between the B and the E. And I'm going 9, then so G, so I'm going G, E, E, then back to the G, G, E, E, and then I'm going back up to the B. So I'm going. And then I'm hitting the 9th again to go back up again. So I'm going twice through the cycle like this. Then I'm moving the same shape up to the 13th fret of G and 16 of B and E, and I'm doing exactly the same pattern. Sorry. Then I'm back down to the 19th to the 9th. And at this point, what we're doing here, we're reversing the pattern. So we're going down to the 11th, so down a semitone, so we end up on the 8th, 11, 11. And instead of starting on the G, we're starting on the E. So we're going. So we're reversing the pattern. So we get E, B, E, E, B, E, E, E. And then we're moving up to the 14th fret of E, 14th fret of E, B, and then 11th fret of G. Okay, and that's how this part is played, and that's when the solo, sort of, the entire sort of band stops, the lead comes in of Paul Masvidal, and the solo kicks in at that point. So that's for what I call the pre-solo section. So that really leaves us just a couple of riffs to look into now. The first riff we're going to look at here is just focusing on the sort of solo riff. Dead simple. Let me just play it for you first, and then we'll break it down for you. Okay, all right, so it's really just simple. We're tremolo picking between the 2nd fret of E to the 3rd fret of A. So, sorry, E. So we're just going. Okay, so what we're actually doing in terms of tremolo picking, we're in bars we're in a bar of 8. We're tremolo picking 32 times on each note. So the way I would think about it, one way would be to count. I tend to sort of hear it against the drums and also hear the solo in my head. So if you were to really count it, you could basically count 2 groups of 8, or maybe 4 groups of 4. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. And that's how I would sort of look at it. But I generally, again, this is the kind of section where you can really feel with the solo, with the drums and everything, you can sort of lock yourself in, and you should be able to sort of feel that part. Right, the solo section ends with just 2 power chords ending on an open E power chord, then up to the 1st fret, and then we repeat that again. Which takes us into the final section, or the final riff of the song. Not the final actual riff of the song, because we repeat, like in most death songs, repeat a lot of the parts, but the final sort of new riff, okay? So let's play you that riff, and then we'll break it down. Okay, so let's have a look at this riff. This riff does get harmonized, but we'll talk about the lower section first, and then we'll talk about the harmony in a minute. Right, okay, another slightly tricky riff to play because it varies rhythmically from one part to the other. So let's actually have a look what's happening on the first bit, and then we'll look at the second bit. Right, on the first bit, we're starting on the 5th fret of A, and then we're just going a down, up, down on the 4th fret of E. So we're going 5, then we're moving up to the 6th fret of D, so playing an octave. Then we do the down, up, down on the 4th again, then 5th fret of A again, then again to the 6th, then again down, up, down on the E, on the 5th, then 6th again, then 5th again, down, up, down. Right, then what we do to tell the riff, we're actually playing a diminished arpeggio starting from the 6th of D, going down 6, 5, 4, D, E, A. Okay, right, now at this point we play the second part of the riff, and the main variation here is that we're changing the rhythm on the lower note, on the bass notes. So we're going to go down to the 4th fret of A, and we're going to go 4th fret, then we're going to play a group of 4 16th notes on the E string on the 3rd fret. So, and then we're going to go to the 6th fret of D, back to the 3rd fret with a group of 16th notes, 4 16th notes, again the 4th fret of A, 4 16th notes, and then we finish here again with actually a sort of a diminished arpeggio as well. Okay, we got a sort of beginning of a diminish over a sort of a C sharp minor, a C sharp power chord. Okay, and then that's how we finish this section. Now, this part actually does have a harmony, so let me actually explain what goes on. In the first half, which is in the lower string, that rhythm's actually exactly the same. We're not changing anything in that part. However, let me play you what happens on the harmony for the second bit, for the second part of this riff. Okay, so what's going on here? We're actually playing up onto the 6th fret of G, and then just like in the other bit, where instead of playing down, up, down on the lower string, we're actually going 4 16th notes on the 5th fret of D. Then we're stretching our pinky onto the 9th fret of B, then we're going down to the 5th fret of D to play 4 16th notes, then again to the 6th of G, 4 16th notes, back to the 9th fret of B to first, and then 4 16th note on the D, then on the 6th fret of G again, then on the 9th, then on the 6th again, and then at this point we play sort of an arpeggiated chord here, a sort of a diminished arpeggio of G starting on the 9th, going 9, 6, 5. So 9 on the B, 6 on the G, and 5 on the D. Okay, and that is pretty much all the bits, all the riffs of Secret Face. Now what happens at this point, we basically head back into the sort of initial vocal riff, so this one. We're back to this riff. We've got the little bridge riff, so we've got this riff, and then we go back into the sort of tremolo picked melody. And then we go back to the harmony over here. And then pretty much the song ends after this section. At the end of this section, that's when the song ends. If I'm correct, actually we do come back even with the pre-solo bit. And the song ends there. I might be incorrect there. I get muddled up with this song. But anyway, that's pretty much how Secret Face goes. So like I said, the really challenging riff is that sort of tremolo pick riff on the F sharp where we're moving about. That riff is the tricky one, I would say. Spend some time on that one, but great little song to play. I remember when I did this cover a few weeks ago, it's incredible how many people came out saying that's actually my favorite song of Human and one that gets overlooked a little bit sometimes. I agree. It's actually a great little song. It's got some great little melodic hallmarks, where actually those kind of melodic hallmarks would be part of the discography of Death in the future album. Especially, I feel a lot of those parts in this song are the kind of ideas that Chuck developed a bit more on the next album on Individual Thought Patterns. Anyway, I hope this was a useful lesson. Like I said, these are sort of just to give you an idea about how to play these songs, down to you to work them, practice them slowly with the track, listen to the song a lot. Anyway, until next time, stay safe and stay metal.